Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wahdahu wa salatu wa salamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da. Jazakallah khair for joining us again. We were going over Ayatul Kursi. Last week we didn't finish. We went over part of it and we'll continue the next part. I ask Allah to grant us beneficial knowledge and to make us of those who sacrifice our time and dedicate our focus towards knowledge, because without knowledge we cannot ever understand how to live in a good way in this life or achieve anything in the hereafter. When Allah has given us so much and Allah has provided for us so much without us even asking, it is dutiful for us. It is upon us, it's incumbent upon us to return it with at least getting to know Him and getting to know what He likes and staying away from what He dislikes. If we are not living this kind of life, then we are living the life worse than animals, because at least animals, they are afraid of Allah. They don't want to disobey Allah. But we have the option. We have the option to obey Allah and not obey Allah. And it behooves us to look at all the things that Allah gave us and to be of those who are firm with ourselves and make this contract within yourself that I want to do whatever it is that Allah is pleased with. I don't want to do anything that Allah is displeased with. If you fall short after having such a contract with yourself, that's not upon you. Then you ask Allah for forgiveness and He'll forgive. But if you have this contract with yourself, within yourself, and you say, I don't want to do anything that Allah is displeased with, and I want to do as much as I can with what Allah is pleased with, then you are above majority of creation, majority of mankind. Then you are the elite with Allah. And we will make mistakes. All of us will make mistakes. There's not one of us that will not make mistakes. The Prophet ﷺ said that all of the children of Adam will make a mistake, will sin. But the best of those are the ones who repent after they sin. Meaning they don't stay stuck. Oh, I know this is wrong, but I'm still gonna do it. I know it's wrong, but I can't let go. I know Allah's displeased with this, but it gives me money. I can't say no to the people. What my parents are gonna say. What are the people gonna say? You are putting all of these things between yourself and Allah. And that is why Allah says, do not take gods other than Allah. Do not have between you and Allah, something else. Remove those things. If they are holding you back from doing what needs to be done for the sake of Allah, then you let go of those things. And that is the path of the prophets and messengers. And this is why we have the stories of the prophets and messengers in the Quran, so that we see there were people, human beings like us. They had hands, feet, noses, mouths. They had hunger, they had sleepiness, they had families that didn't like them, family members, they had rulers against them, all kinds of situations that anyone can say, well, they don't have a mom that was bad to them, they don't have a family member. No, there was Yusuf alayhi salam, there was, right? The wife of Lut, she was bad. We have all kinds of situations where Allah shows us that if they can do it, you can do it. Not that those are so far above and that you are not able to reach the qualities that they embodied. You can. That's why He showed them to us. They are human beings. Yes, they are beloved to Allah. But that's why He showed them to us, so that we can become like them. And so this is important for us to remember, that when we say to ourselves, I want to do what Allah wants me to do, and I want to stay away from what Allah wants me to do, then we are actually truly being Muslim. That is the meaning of being a Muslim. So to continue, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. Allah, there is no God worthy of worship except Him, the ever-living, all-sustaining. Neither drowsiness nor sleep overtakes Him. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. Who could possibly intercede with Him without His permission? He fully knows what is ahead of them and what is behind them, but no one can grasp any of His knowledge except what He wills to reveal. His seat encompasses the heavens and the earth, and the preservation of both does not tire Him, for He is the Most High, the Greatest. So we went over the first part. We went over the part where it says, Allah, there is no God worthy of worship except Him, the ever-living, all-sustaining, neither drowsiness nor sleep overtakes Him. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. Who could possibly intercede with Him without His permission? He fully knows what is ahead of them and what is behind them, but no one can grasp any of His knowledge except what He wills to reveal. So we went over this last week. He fully knows what is ahead. So just to recap very quickly, He knows what is ahead of them, what is behind them, but no one can grasp any of His knowledge. Basically, He knows everything. He knows what's in your heart and what it is that you say. He knows what is in every single person's heart. Every single person that has ever been created. Every single person that has ever been in existence, they continue to have a relationship with Allah even if they have passed away. They continue to have a relationship with Allah even while they're in the grave. How many people are in the grave asking Allah for relief from the punishment they're going through? And how many people are in the grave, they're praising Allah for the blessings that He gave them while they're in the grave? How many people in the grave are saying, oh Allah, hurry, hurry, bring the day of judgment because we want to enter Jannah? And how many people in the grave are saying, stop, sir, slow it down. I don't want to come out on the day of judgment because I know that what comes after this is even far worse than what I'm dealing with. And I'm already struggling with this, with what's in the grave. And every one of us will be in the grave. And this is a reality that we actually forget sometimes. That we will be in the grave. Each one of us, you, me, every one of us. I mean, some of us might not be in an actual grave. Some of us might be in some kind of situation. But in reality, we're going to enter the barzakh. We're going to enter that side of the world. There are people that have been alive. We have in history, in our history books, we have, let's say, for example, a more recent history. We have Hitler. Hitler has been alive for how many, for some generations, and then he's been dead for some generations. He's been dead for longer than the time he lived. But he's been in the state of his grave much longer than he's been alive. Okay, let's go back some. How about Fir'aun? Fir'aun, he was alive for a certain time. Let's say he was alive even past his children, or let's say grandchildren. But at his great-grandchildren's time, let's say he died. And after his great-grandchildren, those had children, and then those had children, and those had children. And, your great-great-great-grandparents got married, and they had your great-great-grandparents, and he was still dead. And then your great-great-grandparents got married, and they had your great-grandparents, and he was still dead. And your great-grandparents got married, and they had your grandparents, and he was still dead. And your grandparents got married, and they had your parents, and he was still dead. And your parents got married and they had you, and he's still dead. And you might have gotten married, and he's still dead. And you might have children, and they're still dead. And your children might have gotten married, and he's still dead. So his death, his time in barzakh, is far greater than his time in life. So his time for punishment is far greater than his time that he actually lived. And that is the reality of our situation. That we must understand that the time we have right now is very limited. And in this time, we have to perform in such a way that all the time that we stay in the barzakh is a beneficial and a good and a blessed time. We don't have the capacity or the audacity to say, I can accept this sin. This haram is for me. I don't have to follow Allah in this. This time, next time I will be a better person. Tomorrow I will be better. Next week I will stop the haram. I won't, drugs is just, that's difficult to let go of. Alcohol, it's very addictive. Being around women or being around men, it's just, I can't. It's just this is the dunya. This is the society we live in. I can't. It's not something I can deal with. We make these excuses for ourselves. We tell ourselves it's okay to make these haram situations. We tell ourselves it's okay to promote or to even be the base of haram for others. Well, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. I didn't do the haram. I was just stood there. I didn't do anything, but you promoted the haram. You were part of it. It will count on your deed, on your book of deeds as you doing it, because you allowed it to happen on your watch. You're going back to Allah. You're not staying here. There is no permanency in this world. And the people, even your own family members, 2 generations down, 3 generations, maybe some will remember great-grandpa because he was such a great person, let's say. Let's say he was such a great figure in history and he was very famous, let's say. Let's say he reached a level where, he made a difference in society and people will remember him. But the 3rd generation down, even if they'll say, yeah, I know, he was great for his time. He was wonderful. Okay, yeah, what are we going to do now? He's going to feed us now? What do we do with that? Does anybody know anything about the descendants of the Ottoman Empire, the Osman at that time? Everybody knows about the story of Ertugrul and Osman, the Turkish dramas and all that, which is based in some reality. Some of it's based in reality, right? There was an Ottoman Empire. Does anybody know about his descendants? He was such a great person. He effected so much change. He brought Islam on the map. What a great endeavor. What a strong character, right? He fought off a lot of non-Muslims who were trying to take Muslim land. And, everybody knows the history. Does anybody know about his grandchildren? Great-grandchildren? Great-great-grandchildren? His descendants of today? Nobody cares. Nobody even looks twice. And those children, they don't care. If you look at them today, there's a photo. If you look at them, they look like normal Europeans. They don't look like people who were following his legacy. So what are you spending yourself for? What are you using yourself for? Are you going to really truly make yourself a person of legacy, which means the ultimate form means that you will be the person who will enter Jannah? Or will you be forgotten? And the ultimate form of being forgotten is the person who enters Jahannam. Doesn't matter what they did in this life, because both good and bad, people will forget them. Fir'aun, where's his power? All the people that were compelled to follow him, that worshipped him, that kissed up to him, that treated him really well because, he was in power, then they did nothing. They were free of him as soon as he died. And same thing with the Prophet SallAllahu. When he died, a lot of people left Islam. Believe it or not, they were only Muslim because of the hype, because of the strength of Islam, because other men were doing it. Because men were doing it, then we thought we should do it too. There's a lot of people, that's why Allah said towards the end of his life, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ, when the victory comes to you, the help and victory of Allah comes to you, ask him for forgiveness. And you see the people entering the deen, afwaja, with a great number. They're just entering, a bunch of them. Why? Because of the hype. That's the thing to do. That's the trend. But when he died, a lot of them left because there was no longer this trend person there to keep it together. Only the true believers remained. So good people and bad people, as soon as they go, what is left of them? What is left of them is either they're going to enter Jannah or they're going to enter Jahannam. And how did they live? That is what's going to provoke, that is what's going to bring about their situation by the mercy of Allah or by His wrath. So he fully knows what is ahead of them, what is behind them, but no one can grasp any of His knowledge. He knows exactly what everyone is thinking and what everyone is saying. Sometimes someone thinks one thing, oh, this sister is a horrible sister, but she'll never say it in front of her face. He knows both. He doesn't just know what she's saying. He knows what she's thinking, what she's saying, what her heart is whispering. And he knows what she's saying to that person. Not only that, he knows what everyone is saying. And every heart is speaking. He knows the difference between the two, and He knows that for every single creation on this world, from the beginning of creation till now. Not just people, but also animals. Not just animals, but also insects. Not just insects, but also fish. But not just fish, but also all creation. The ones that don't even speak. He knows their situation. They complain to Allah. The sky, the moon, the stars, the trees. They speak to Allah. And none of that confuses Him. None of that confuses Him. He's never tired from hearing the voices and the calls of the people. He knows exactly what's happening every single place. Allah knew what happened at Epstein Island. And He caused them to be exposed.
Alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He caused them to be exposed. Over time, they were exposed. And there's a reason for this. And there's a reason for why it's exposed now. Because look at the situation right after what happened in Gaza, after the people were disillusioned by the government that they thought was about humanity. Now they're being disillusioned by the elite, the secondary heroes they had. First, they had a lot of faith in their government, thinking the government was a government of, one that promotes humanity, and they realized it's not the case. And they had their heroes, their celebrities and other people that are not in government, and now even that is being stripped away from them. This is all happening methodically. This is all happening with Allah's plan. There's a reason for this, because He's bringing the truth to light to the people who did not have access to the truth before this. One by one, He's bringing the truth out. You worshipped your government, look at them. You worship the celebrities, look at them. And everything that a person worships, Allah will knock them out in front of the people until they have no reason not to worship Allah. And then, if they still do not worship Allah, then they will receive the judgment from Allah. And it could be that they will not be forgiven, because they were given every chance to worship only Him. Continuing on. His seat encompasses the heavens and the earth, and the preservation of both does not tire Him, for He is the Most High, the Greatest. So His seat encompasses the heavens and the earth. His seat is the Kursi, encompasses the heavens and the earth. It goes over, meaning it extends over the heavens and the earth. It's that big. Okay, so His kursi, we're not talking about His arsh, we're not talking about the throne. Okay, the kursi can be considered the footstool. It's a smaller part, and the arsh is far greater. But just His kursi, just the footstool, covers the heavens and the earth. And the preservation of both the heavens and the earth does not tire Him. It doesn't make Him tired to preserve the heavens and the earth, the universe, If we look, just scratch a little bit of the knowledge of the universe, our mind will be blown. We will not understand how He is able to take care of these things. But that's because that is Allah. Now we are not Allah. We are limited. And the Prophet said, the 7 heavens and the 7 earths by the side of Al-Kursi are nothing but as a ring thrown down in a desert land. And such is Al-Kursi with respect to Al-Arsh. So basically, in comparison to the Kursi is so big, like the heavens and the earth is like a ring in a desert. Like if you had a big desert, like the Sahara Desert, and you had to find a ring in there, that's how small the heavens and earth is in comparison to the Kursi, the footstool. And then the footstool is like a ring in the desert in comparison to His arsh, to His throne. And Allah is greater than that. So we cannot even, start to begin to understand His essence. So when someone says, well, I don't want to follow Allah. I don't think Allah knows what He's talking about when He says this is haram. I think I know better. I mean, I know that this is like, People might not like it, but I don't think Allah knows what He's talking about. When people say, I feel I can get away with it, I feel it's okay for me to do this instead of following what Allah wants, you have to remember then, who are you talking about? You have to just stop for a second and don't visualize Him, but just visualize His kursi and visualize His arsh. Try to visualize, in comparison to where you are and where that kursi is and where that arsh is. And then you can say, well, I don't think I want to follow this. I don't think it's a big deal if I intermingle with women or intermingle with men. I don't think it's a big deal if we drink alcohol. I don't think it's a big deal if we, listen to music. I don't think it's a big deal. What is your definition of big? Let's just talk about definition of big, because here's a definition of big right within this hadith. And then we can understand whether it's actually a big deal or a really, really big deal to disobey Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever recites Ayatul Kursi at the end of every obligatory prayer, nothing but death will prevent him from entering paradise. How long does it take to recite Ayatul Kursi? Maybe 30 seconds? 40 seconds? 45 seconds? Let's say it takes 3 minutes. You gave 3 minutes of your time to earn paradise. We cannot do that? After every salah, just recite Ayatul Kursi. And you get paradise. The only thing preventing you from entering paradise is dying. Isn't that a good bargain? Isn't that a good deal? But can you believe how many people will not do that? As soon as they finish salah, they will get up and walk away. When you finish salah, stay there. Make your dhikr. Recite Ayatul Kursi. And while you're doing that, guess what? The angels are praying for your forgiveness. Not your mom, not your dad, not your cousin, not your daughter, not your father, not your neighbor. No, angels. The angels are saying, oh Allah, forgive this person. You're sitting there after salah. You're not doing anything. You're not running a marathon. You're not giving money. You're not giving charity. You're not giving from yourself. You're just sitting right after salah and relaxed and making dhikr. You are on vacation. After salah, you're just sitting. Don't rush into the dunya. Don't rush into anything. Just wait a few minutes. Make your dhikr. Recite Ayatul Kursi. Ask from Allah whatever you need. And during this time, your ranks are being raised by Allah because the angels are praying for you. And Allah is also counting this reward for you. When you think of this, you cannot imagine why somebody will not get to Jannah. Why is it that we will not get Jannah? When we have so many opportunities to get to Jannah. And then we will see on the Day of Judgment, there will be people going to hellfire. And then they will say, why are you going to hellfire? And the first thing they will say is because we did not used to pray. Because we did not used to pray. And so the answer to saving yourself from the hellfire comes from praying. But not just praying. What comes from praying becomes greater than just praying. It becomes avenues, pathways open up when you pray. Pathways that save you from haram. Pathways that open up for more good deeds. And so prayer is important. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that whoever recites it before going to bed, Allah will appoint a guard for them and shaitan will not come near them until morning. So Ayatul Kursi is good to be recited before you go to sleep at night. So this is the benefit of Ayatul Kursi. This is the description of Ayatul Kursi, and Ayatul Kursi is considered one of the greatest ayahs of the Quran. And we'll end here. If there's any questions, I'll take it now. If not, we'll end here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.